Philip Stoughton. I'm on the Global Electronics Association booth at Productronica 2025, and I'm joined by their leadership from Mexico, Lorena. Lorena, always a pleasure to chat to you. One of the things I've noticed, particularly at this show, but more and more, is this idea of thinking globally and acting locally is really settling with the association. And we have these wonderful initiatives that impact lots of different regions, but we're delivering them differently in each of those regions. Tell me a bit about how you see that and how that's happening in Mexico.
Yes. Well, you know, Phil, for 70 years we've been the IPC. And just last June, we changed the rebranding to the Global Electronics Association, was precisely to strengthen that. So what the company wanted to do is to put more focus on the regions. Yeah. And that was especially impacting for my region, for Mexico.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's putting Mexico in the center of the debate, in the center of all the decisions. You know, every day we go to sleep and wake up thinking, let's see what happens now with the news, with the tariffs, with the different governments, with the presidents, Mexico and the US. And Mexico is in the center of the debate. So what the organization is doing is putting a lot more focus and resources and strength in Mexico.
Yeah.
I have the fortune to lead the Mexico team, and what we're doing, I would say that the particularity that we have in Mexico and that what we're doing is we're joining forces with what we call the three helixes of the electronics industry. So I have alliances with the governments, the state governments, with the academia, the education institutions, and of course with the industry.
Yeah, and it's bringing those all together that's hugely valuable. How do you do that? Is it responding to what the market's asking for? Is it putting together events where you can actually inform the market and maybe find out from the market what they need from your government initiatives? How do you create those programs?
Exactly. That has been key. All the events that we've been doing across Mexico in the key electronics hubs, in some key cities that, for example, Guadalajara, that you know so well, that it is called the Silicon Valley of Latin America, and hubs of electronics that have been growing a lot, like Guanajuato, the automotive hub, like Guadalajara, the electronics hub. So what we do is we go locally and we join forces with the governments and with the education institutions, and we do this events like the IPC days, now the electronics days.
The leadership days,
We now do the week of education together with the governments. And what we do is we have an open house, we open the doors, and we train whoever comes. So we've had education weeks, for example, in Guanajuato, where we train 300 people.
Wow, that's hugely valuable. And they go away with what, a certification to say that they've attended a training day, and that creates all kinds of opportunities.
Yes.
Talent's a big issue, and it's interesting when we think of Mexico as having kind of unlimited talent, but it's not unlimited. You've got to train those people. You've got to be able to retain and keep those people. That's a big part of what IPC advocates for: good training, good retention, good worker relations. Is that something that is important in Mexico and really resonates with the members there?
Completely. Lately, after COVID, the world started talking about nearshoring. And Mexico was, of course, the key, the key point of nearshoring for the United States. But nearshoring is not done by magic. I always tell people, nearshoring is not a magic wand that you shake and then everything will come to you. We need, as a country, to be able to demonstrate that we have well-trained and certified people and talent. And you just mentioned it. It's not something that is done naturally. It's not something that everybody is prepared for. There are statistics, Phil, that if we wanted to cover for the entire demand that we right now have, to be able to call Mexico the key partner for the electronics supply chain of the United States, We are in deficit of 5 million engineers.
Yeah, which is phenomenal, isn't it? And
It is.
Just building up even an engine that's going to deal with part of that is
Correct.
hugely valuable.
Correct.
And you're part of the helix that's academia is a key part of that. Are they receptive? Do they want to partner with industry? Do they want you to connect them to those people?
They are. Just last week we announced 2 new members that became members of the association, and one is the largest public university in all Latin America, the UNAM, the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México. They just joined last week, and the second one is the Technological University of Querétaro, one of the key electronics hubs. So every day we're seeing, and of course they will be bringing the rest.
Yeah.
Every day we're seeing more interest from the academia.
Yeah.
These large public and private universities are interested in becoming members of IPC, of the association, and everything that they get with being members of us. So,
yeah, no, it's hugely valuable. And how does that interaction work? Do you end up with industry being able to go into academia and teach?
Correct.
Do you end up with academia being able to bring the classroom down to the SMT line and actually visit and see?
Exactly. What they're doing, this is very interesting. It's a great question. The UNAM and the Technological University of Querétaro both are opening their doors for the industries to come and get trained there, or they are going to start visiting.
Yeah.
They will be acting as a training center of the association. So they will be going to the companies to train their engineers.
Yeah. And the other bit I just wanted to touch on was advocacy and politics. I don't want to get into the politics of what's going on in any of the countries that we're talking about here. But there needs to be advocacy, and a lot of what goes on in Mexico is, in terms of incentives, is regional. You need to connect to all those different areas. Is that something you've been able to do?
Yes, we had.
You had some of them with you in Apex, didn't you?
In Apex, yes, for the very first year.
Government show up
In 25 years of Apex. We had this last March for the very first time the Mexico Pavilion, and we brought 3 different governments, state governments. So next year for 2026, we're going to grow the Mexico Pavilion, and we're inviting even the federal government.
Yeah. Wow.
So we'll have representation from 4 different state governments and people from federal government. So that is the way. How the association wants to get more connections, more alliances with the governments, and get to work on the advocacy also for Mexico, but from the association standpoint.
But just having them connect there, having those government bodies, and you take them around and show them what's going on the floor there, having them connect with those academic organizations that you talked about that hopefully will send representation there as well.
Right.
I think those things are hugely valuable, and to me this is one of the things that the Global Electronics Association does better than anybody else, is create this and enable this collaboration.
Correct.
People pick up the phone when you ring, they listen, they're prepared to give time, and they're prepared to come together and try and figure out how together we can make the industry better. And I think that's where it gets really exciting. Doesn't matter where you are in the world.
That's correct.
It's fantastic. Lorena, thanks for your time. Pleasure to chat,
Phil.
and look forward to seeing you hopefully next time in Mexico.
Thank you, Phil.